So today we're going to be looking at some of these SBCs. We're probably at the max capacity of SBCs as well. A lot of icons, a lot of players. There is a double on the player of the months for the Prem at the moment. So as you can see, we've got a fair whack to kind of go through. So if you're looking for coins, check in the description for El Dorado. Depending on the coin amount that you're looking for, the delivery time is displayed on the website and you'll see lots of different trusted sellers with reviews on specifics and also the ability to be able to pick who you want. It will also show how much they have in stock, and obviously you can see that they are verified members. There is 100% refund ability and also 24/7 support if you need any questions with your coin needs. Also, if you head over to Trustpilot as well, you can see over 30,000 upvotes for them. You can see how reliable they are. Obviously great feedback across the entire board with El Dorado. So when on checkout, make sure you are using the code JT11 for 5% off your order every time. Discount code JT11. Now let's get back to the video. We are going to do the icons as normal. I think they're pretty easy across the board at this point. There is always an extra bonus when it comes to icons, that there's a lot of them that are in packs. Ronaldinho, Jairzinho, Patrick, and also Matthias. The rest of them, to be fair, are not in packs. These are the only chance that you get them unless we get a year in review pack later on down the line. And by then, more than likely, you've got an upgrade. So you've got to ask the question of, is it worth sticking 3.6 million into Ronaldinho to maybe get him in a mixed icon pack? Now, obviously, you might not do the mixed icon packs, which, fair enough, then that kind of alleviates the fact that you will never get him from an icon pack as such. So you would also not get an R9 in that sense, which you'd be waiting for another SBC. I just think, personally, with the amount of players that we've got going on there, that might be a bit too high of a price for me to say he's worth doing, especially when we are guaranteed to get another upgrade at some point. So for me, Ronaldinho would always be in the don't complete just because of the price of him. Now, I'm not saying he's a bad player. This isn't saying that these players are not worth doing because they can't enhance your team. It purely goes down to how much you've actually got to put in. Just looking at a few of the comments from last week, we did get a fair whack. A lot of people going for Mbappe, saying that they are doing him. And again, to be fair, he's a cracking player. Nobody's arguing that he's not a good player. I just think the change from the quick step to the trickster, the upgrade is nice, and the price of him is just astronomical. Like that's the only issue I have with this card. If he was coming in at a more reasonable price, like we look at him, he's coming in at 5 million coins on an SBC. You've only got 18 days left to do him. If he had the 60 days, the full whack on it, fair enough, but he has a solid month, meaning you've got to put everything. It means everything has got to be on hold until Mbappe is complete. Now, obviously, we look at like the Inform, it's 2.6 mil. We look at the 94, it's 6.1. That SBC could easily be 3 mil. The fact that he hasn't got the quick step should be less than the team of the week, in my opinion. So I really think they've gone too crazy. I know it's coins for the gold card, and if you haven't got him, it's still difficult to get him. I'm not saying that you might as well go for this one, as obviously the main objective is that you can get 5 mil of fodder for this card. You don't have to technically put any coins into it as such, if you know what I mean. But I still don't think he's worth it. As much as Mbappe is incredible, I really just don't think that card is personally worth the 5 mil compared to what else you could do around him. We've obviously got Van Persie is not a very good player. I mean, I can concede that, especially when we do look at Team 2. We've got a lot of fodder, obviously people looking for an Mbappe. Recommended to buy coins. No one asked, but they saying. So we've got from Hypergang, we've got Casillas is good. Stam is really solid. Cancelo is a proper value. Totally agree. Vieira is epic and good value. Okay, I can concede to that one. Abile obviously in the centre mid, Georgie Best on the left or right wing, and Kane decent value. I could see all of that, to be honest. I really can. We've got somebody else coming in. Aqua coming with, personally I completed KDB, Bale, Van Persie, Kane, and Casillas. Really wanted to do George Best, as they are doing a past and present Man U team. We've got Kane and Foden both cooking for me. I have Foden SBCs being a beast, same as Pedri. Completely agree. And then somebody saying I'd rather not complete any SBC. Fair enough. So in terms of kind of what we've got going on then, I think we've got a lot of the cheap ones still that I do think are worth more as an SBC storage. If you're new around here, the SBC storage is just anything that you've got left over. If you've finished all your big SBCs, you've finished an Mbappe. But then we do have some players, for instance, if we go a bit further down, we go and we got 23k, 87k, and then we go a bit further, you got Verts for 66. You've then got, I think they're all the cheapest ones actually. I don't think anybody else is much cheaper than that. We've got Zambo at 195, Clivert at 200, Caicedo at 56. So they're going to be your storage. They're not really a bad value or a good value, because realistically they're there for the Evos more than anything. So these I personally would say are kind of in your more storage collection more than anything. Where's Caicedo? She has got a 91 future stars as well. So they're obviously in that value quite easily. When it comes to the rest of the icons, I can kind of see where everybody's going. I think Jairzinho is the don't complete. I'd say Casillas is a decent value. Bale for me is a very, very good card if you are looking for one specific top-end card. That is a fantastic one, and I like the versatility that he can offer you as well. Obviously, when it comes to Bale, he's got left wing, right mid, and a striking role. With obviously the acrobatic and rapid, I think he's a perfect striker that you could grind out. Now again, very, very expensive. I'm not saying that he isn't, but he's just one of the options that I think is well worth having a look at a minimum. And you've still got 6 weeks to grind him out as well. Patrick, I will kind of eat my words for him. He's still got 5 weeks, so I suppose there is a solid amount that you can go for. I will go into the decent value with him. He is very good. I just think when it comes to the SBC, there is a lot of options you can go for. I personally would only pick 1 or 2 really big SBCs from this to really grind out. I did think Abile, very good value. Matthias himself, 2.9. He's probably less than Patrick in my opinion. I just think with centre mids, he's a cracking card and I do really like him. I just don't think he would be one that I would go for in this personally. I think Georgie Best, 1.8. It's good value for him. I'd say decent value at the minimum. I don't know if I'd quite push him up to the must complete. I think he's a very good card, but with all of what we've got from Team of the Year Blueprint, Attacking Avalanche, any of the Team of the Years that you might have packed, and any of the other evolutions you might have done by now, it would definitely be a lot less than 1.8 mil. And that just is what it is. Van Persie, maybe K. If people are not going must complete, I can kind of concede that we have had some very good players and some good SBCs and evolutions that really kind of do put him into a bit of perspective with that. I think Pirlo is cracking value as well. And to be honest, I must admit the main factor from Van Persie is I absolutely love Torres in this game. If you've not used his loan yet, have a go at that future star. I'm a big fan of Torres in how they've reworked these mid-prime and bases or babies, whatever you want to go for. They've done really well for him. I weren't that much of a fan for his base or his mid in previous years, but now they've kind of squashed them together. The upgrade for him is normally always so much better than having the prime that eventually comes in kind of like December in the previous games. Which leaves us with a lot of the players. So when it comes to most of these, we've got only X amount of hours and days for some of them. We've got 5 weeks for Jaap Stam. I agree that he's a fantastic card. He's a very, very good centre-back. But I just think with all of the centre-backs we've got, he isn't worth doing. It just really isn't. When you've got the Team of the Year Evo, was it Evo Star? The 92 rated centre-back we got was more than enough. We then have plenty of other evolutions, SBCs, even just any of the player SBCs that we've had. That is just so much cheaper than what this card does possess. So for me, I still will stand by it with him. He's an incredible centre-back, but we've got so many others. To say he's a million coins, I just don't think he's worth it. Now, obviously, KDB and Kimmich, I'm a big fan of both of these, to be honest. We've obviously got 8 days and 7 days, so not a long time to go. And if you've not started them yet, it might prove a little bit tricky. But I do think both of these are absolutely incredible. If you've got the chance to actually complete them, I personally would, or at least one of them. This kind of must complete is not to complete all of these, because sometimes that's going to be a bit impossible. You're looking at 8 to 9 million coins worth of SBCs there. The likely chance is you might not even get all of that SBC fodder in 2 months, let alone try and get it in the next 7 to 8 days, the next 5 weeks. It's just not going to happen. So I would definitely go and pick that. I try and normally go with different positions. Obviously Bale can go on the wing or up front. Torres is more your up front, but he's only just come out. And then you've got the two differences between an attacking mid and a defensive mid for these two, whatever position you need. Now obviously we've still got honourable mentions. They're still around for a few days. They are starting to go, so I can imagine we will get some big SBCs coming soon. So we've got 9 days, 10 days, all the way to 14. Obviously Cancelo, I do think is a cracking left back at the absolute minimum. I would say as a left back goes, he probably isn't a must complete. But again, when we look at these evolutions, we just got the attacking instinct one yesterday. We've had many upgrades for left backs, and they've really kind of pushed the boat out with them. So it's a very questionable debate where you could either go Cancelo or go and upgrade a Mendy, go and upgrade a Theo Hernandez right now. That's kind of my biggest gripe with them. I think Marquinhos, I do think Salma and also then Martinez are coming in at cracking values. Somebody was very correct with Kane. I think he's such an overlooked striker, and even myself in the past has always overlooked Kane because of his pace, because of the ability there. He's not necessarily the through ball and run onto it, but in terms of this game, it isn't about that in a lot of aspects. It's coming in at 650. I would say he's one of the strikers, very much like Torres. If you're going to pick between them, they're the two that I would pick to at the moment, especially when we're looking at some of the big SBCs. They do come in just that little bit cheaper. With Foden, I'm still standing by it with him. I don't personally rate him above a lot of the evolutions we've got. Cracking card, but when we've got the Team of the Year blueprint, if you've done Yamal, if you've done Dembele, it's more than enough compared to putting 1.8 into him. It just really is. We then have obviously Pedri. If you've done Gavi, then Pedri's an absolute must. If you've done him, he's going to be a cracking partner, especially with some of the evolutions that will come out. And I do think DeMarco is up there as well. Whether you'd kind of go for him over the likes of Cancelo. If you're running a Serie A team, then 100%. But again, you got to go against Theo, to be honest. We then have Marta, who's going to be more SBC storage, coming in at 48. And then we kind of go and chill into some of the future stars. The main thing is as well with the new player of the months, they are now all guaranteed to have a double playstyle plus. Hence why we're seeing a little bit more value. We obviously have Zambo coming in at 195 with the intercept and relentless, and Kluivert coming in at the finesse with the pinged pass. Now personally for me, I don't think Kluivert's worth it. Zambo would have been in maybe decent value, but now it's definitely into a must in my opinion, purely on the upgrade that he did manage to get. I believe, I want to say it might have been Curl It In actually. I think that is the evolution that we've got. So it goes up to a 90 for him. Doesn't get the extra playstyle plus of Dead Ball, which is good because we've already got the double, but it does give him that little bit more on the attacking side. Whacking then something like an anchor on him. That is a phenomenal CDM you can get for 190. If you're running a Serie A team, that is an absolute must in my opinion. I think that is cracking value for him. When it comes to the flashbacks, we've obviously had Alexis Sanchez and also Mason Mount. I don't know what it is with past and present Man U at the moment. We're just getting everybody at this point. We've got Rio Ferdinand, Ahmad. We've had so many, and let alone having Sanchez and Mount. I know Sanchez is more Arsenal, but he still played for us, I suppose. He's got the first touch and the finesse. Can play the left-hand side, which I'd probably say is better for him. He's okay value. And then Mount with the incisive. It's a nice start to the card. I think he's kind of there as just another evolution builder. So I'd go with both of them kind of into that semi-decent value. It's relatively cheap. We have Morgan as well. I would definitely go for the same. I think with an evolution in the future could really up that card for me. We then also have the female future star in, I don't know how you pronounce the name, so we'll just keep going on that. Otherwise, I'll just butcher it. And then obviously a few of the others. We've obviously got Ivan or Ivan, and he is incredible for the value. He's already got the chance to go into an evolution as well, which is just even more perfect. He would go into the Star Power 2. Obviously add himself up there. Little bit of an upgrade. It's nothing too crazy. It is just a standard upgrade for him. Little bit across the board, which I think is fantastic. So for me, I think he again would be SBC storage, but he's going to be amongst the kind of must complete for the fodder of it as such. And then when it comes to the other two, Yildiz, is it Yildiz? I want to say is how you pronounce his name. And then we've got our boy, if we go to players, we've got Hugo coming in at 219, chip shot rapid. It's okay. And then we've obviously got Yildiz. He's coming in at 423. I did like the card. I think maybe with the playstyle pluses he's added, I think it is, because you've got 2 different versions you can choose from. I want to say it was the cam that was pretty good. We've got the pinged pass and the finesse. Works pretty well. I think a solid card across the board. I'd go for maybe on Yildiz, maybe like a kind of a miss maybe, but I'd go for at the moment with the chance of an upgrade as a kind of decent value at this point. So that's going to be everybody. Let me know down below what you think, and I'll catch you all for the next one. Peace.